you can start to consciously play with and infuse all of these different elements into your everyday existence. And the reason that I love human design was it lit the time that I was able to shift from out of alignment into alignment felt quite rapid. And as soon as I started playing with the energies of being a projector and other aspects of my human design, I saw quite a rapid shift in my experience of life, you know, how things were going, relationships, things that I was, you know, gravitating towards me. And I love that. And I love the fact that you get to tap into this potential. And I love the fact that you get to be unlimited and really kind of reach for the stars and understand your North Star or your ultimate mission and your ultimate outcome for this lifetime. And that really excites me. So that's why I love sharing it. Because the more people that I work one-to-one with and do one-to-one readings with, you kind of are able to help them understand how they're in a circumstance that they're in and lift them out of that circumstance quite effortlessly. And I love to be able to like break down the illusions of people and to help people like reach into that pure potential energy. So we're going to talk about aura types. Now, when you get your human design chart, and I'll just pop a link in here so you can go, if you just go onto the tab, 2 seconds. Oh, hang on, .com. There, yoursoulknow.com. If you go into the tab at the top, it'll say free human design chart, so you can get your human design chart there. And the first thing it's going to speak about is your aura type. Now, when it comes to alignment, the most important things for you to really deep dive into and explore and play with and embody are your aura type, your authority, your inner authority, and your strategy, which is why I've chosen those 3 things over the next 3 days, because if you work with these energies, you're going to start to see a shift in you know, what you're pulling into your existence and the journey that you know, get to notch into. So your aura type, you could think of this as the role that your soul has decided to play in the collective. Now, there are 5 aura types, and each of these aura types are to work in sync with one another. And, you know, there are the majority of people in the world, like 73% or 75% of the world, are generators and manifesting generators. So the energy of that is that of the creator. It's the builder. It's the people that are out in the trenches creating the things, you know, responding to life, responding to what's around them, responding to circumstances and creating solutions, creating experiences, you know, and using that energy to be creative. It's also known as the alchemist. So we'll speak about the generator first, because the manifesting generator, although they are primarily a generator, there is a little kind of nuance to, you know, how your energy is here to be. So the 5 aura types are manifestor, manifesting generator, generator, projector, and reflector. And they all work in synergy together. So if the manifestors are in alignment, they are guiding the generators to create things in alignment. And then the projectors are able to have more rest, because we're here to rest, and we don't need to be as involved in the process of re-guiding the generators because they're in alignment. And the reflectors are kind of just this amazing source of feedback. So if we're all in alignment, it's going to really impact the energetic collective, the frequency of the collective, if everybody rises into their soul role, their true essence. But there are huge differences between all of these energy types. So generators are here as the alchemists. They are here to, and they do impact the energy as a whole. They kind of play 2 roles. So the generator is here to give out in their aura. They have this very warming, like when you're around a generator, it's like having a really lovely cuddle with someone that sees you and can relate to you and can connect to you. And it's like that kind of warm and fuzzy energy that they are creating inside of themselves. So that's the first kind of role of the generator in this lifetime, is to activate and create this energy. And if you think that, you know, 75% of the population are generator beings, if they're out of alignment, that's going to massively impact the collective energy because 70% of the world out of alignment is going to just, you know, knock things out of sync, out of balance. So the first role of the generator is to be self-fulfilling. Okay, so the more that you do things that make you happy as a generator and a manager, the more that you kind of say no to things that feel like, ugh, I don't want to do it, like that doesn't make my heart sing. And the more that you kind of really indulge in your creative endeavors, your creative expression, the things that really make you happy, like, is it reading? Is it walking in the woods? Is it going out with your friends? Is it belly laughing? Is it having an aromatherapy bath? Is it, you know, eating a gorgeous, sumptuous chocolate mud cake? Is it painting? Is it like dancing barefoot? Whatever that is, the more that you can do that as a generator and infuse this into like a daily ritual, the more you are going to impact the collective, the world. Sorry, I've got hair in my eye, it's getting on my nerves. So that's the first role of the generator. The other role of the generator is to respond to what's going on in the world and to create things that are in response to that. So if you think about and then it's not an initiator energy. So it's really important to remember that generators are not here to initiate things. They are here to like look around in the present moment. The generators and manifesting generators are here to live in the now. Their sacral guidance is coming through in the now, minute by minute by minute, and it's taken into consideration the energy around. So you are constantly being guided in the moment, so you can constantly create and respond to things in real time. So it's really important as well, if you're a generator and you are like a bit of a procrastinator and you're not really living in the now, and you're constantly worrying about the future, worrying about paying your bills, worrying about what's going to happen next, worrying about, you know, where you're going to find a job, worrying about if your business is going to be successful. If you are living in the future, you are not living in the now, so you're not activating that generator energy. So it's really important to recognize generators and manifesting generators are here to respond and react minute by minute by minute by minute. They're here to live in this moment. So if you find yourself future tripping or worrying about, you know, what's to come, then ground yourself back in this present moment. What can I do now? Hand on my heart. Am I safe now? Is everything okay now? What kind of guidance am I receiving now? Same for manifesting generators. That's that beautiful sacral energy. So the second aspect of the generator being this person that responds in real time, it could be that you are responding to someone asking you a question. It could be that you are responding to a world problem. It could be that you are responding to a cycle that you are seeing repeatedly outside of you, but it has to be in response to something. And it has to be backed by the will of your soul, and this speaks to you through your sacral. So if you imagine, and we're going to dive deeper into authorities tomorrow, but if you imagine that you've got this powerful little guidance system inside of you, we all have, but generators and manifesting generators, even with even if you're an emotional authority, you still have that sacral kind of, you know, guidance inside of you. And it's guiding you towards the path of least resistance always. So if you, for example, see something in the world and you're kind of emotionally pulled to respond to it, tune into your sacral and make sure that's your thing to respond to. And then you will know, because the sacral will tell you yes or no. And if it's a yes, then respond to it. If it's a no, just notice the emotion that's passing through you. Notice like what's rising in you as you have this human experience. I always feel the need to respond. Being present is so important to me. Yeah, absolutely. And initiating would be sitting in a room and saying to yourself, right, what do I want to do today? What do I want to create today? What revolution do I want to create today? That's not aligned for generators or manifesting generators. You really need to be living in the world, and you are here to be in the world as well. You know, you are here to be walking around the streets, being in the communities, being in the moment, being in this real life experience, moment by moment by moment, so you can respond to it. But it's really important to have that, you know, aspect of self-fulfillment, because that is enough to impact the collective. You being of service to yourself first and foremost is the priority. So the manifesting generator little kind of nuances. Generators are here for mastery, so you are responding, and you will find that there's a theme to your response. You will find that there's something you are super passionate about and you just want to keep responding to it and creating and responding to it. The nuance with manifesting generators is they have that manifestor energy, so they are like responding and mastering their response to something, but they do it in less steps. So it's always about the fast track to mastery, the fast track to responding. So where a generator might respond and it feels aligned for them to, respond in a 4-step way, the manifesting generator is going to do it in a 2-step way. So it's all about that faster mastery, that faster response. But ultimately, how they are to be in the world is exactly the same as the generators. They're here to be self-fulfilling. They're here to be responding. They are here to be activating that beautiful sacral energy that goes on to impact the rest of the collective. Now, conditioning for a generator, it's really important that you really grasp and release any story of selfishness, because you are here to be selfish. Like, I'm just waving my wand there and giving you absolute permission to be selfish. Obviously, in a feel-good way. It's not about sacrificing other people's feelings, selfish. It's not that kind of selfish. But a lot of generators tend to sacrifice themselves for others. And the problem with that is you will turn off your sacral energy. You will turn it off. When you are sacrificing yourself for others, the sacral doesn't show up. It kind of goes in a huff. It's like, I'm not here. I'm not going to radiate juicy energy that's going to really positively impact the collective. I'm not going to guide you because you're not listening. I'm not going to give you any energy because if you're not listening to me, you can figure it out on your own human self. So when you are sacrificing yourself for others, you will be kind of prone to burnout, and this can be physical or mental burnout, because you're not creating that energy that sustains your existence. And how you create that energy that sustains your existence is by self-fulfillment, putting your mask on first. Okay, it's making so much sense now. I do respond in the moment, but I've been struggling for so long when I've committed to something. Yeah, it's really important. Yeah, that's another thing, Yolandi. Committing to things that are too far in the future is a no-no for generators and manifesting generators also. And it's quite fascinating when we live in a world that kind of really, pushes the 10-year goal, the 5-year goal. Yes, have loose long-term goals, but with a more focused attachment to what's the goal for tomorrow, or what's the goal for 2 days' time. And that's going to help you with navigate that energy there. So shadow of the generator and the manifesting generator is sacrificing yourself for others and really not putting your mask on first. So look at what are the stories around taking care of yourself before others, and release them and let them go. And create a daily ritual today, right now. Think about what really lights you up, what makes you feel so happy, and incorporate it at least once a day. Start that ritual. Now, an additional shadow for manifesting generators is manifesting generators are 1, 2, miss a few, 99, 100, which is incredible if they are aligned. If they are not aligned, they're going to spend their lives out of embodiment just trying to get to the end result. Disconnected from source, disconnected from their inner authority, and out of energetic alignment. So what's going to happen is they're going to end up in a massive ball of frustration, because they're going to be like, I just want to get this done now. I don't want to do all these steps. But in that process of I don't want to do all these steps, they're not deeply grounded in step 1 and step 2. So when they try to skip out step 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they just go to step 7, if they're not deeply grounded in that first, kind of couple of steps, then it's like building a house on quicksand. So they are going to suffer from constantly having to rebuild things, constantly having to redo things, constantly having to, reorganize things, and not able to build that momentum that's going to allow them to consciously create in life. And because they're out of alignment, they're going to be pulling to them all these curveballs and obstacles that are going to be trying to get them back into alignment. So you can imagine that's quite an uncomfortable place to be. So if you're a manifesting generator, it is really important to recognize your superpower as someone who can be a fast track to mastery, but be a master at it first, and have these solid foundations. And then also, same as generators, you can suffer from sacrificing yourself for the sake of others. So it's like having this daily ritual of activating your juicy energy, and even have a vision of it. Like, it's a massive responsibility. You can impact the collective just by serving yourself. It's the truth. The energy goes out into the collective. It impacts all of us. You know, it impacts all of the other energy types. It gives us life. It lifts us up. It impacts all of the other generators. It gives them life. It lifts them up. You don't even have to get out of bed to do this. You just need to be serving yourself. So the next type we'll do is manifestors. Now, manifestors is such a fascinating aura type for me, because I think projectors are the most conditioned energy type, closely followed by manifestors. So manifestors make up a small proportion of the population. And they are ultimately, if you think about it from a spiritual perspective, like universe, God, source, whatever you call it, whatever relates to you, is around us energetically, guiding us through the manifestors. So if you imagine that God's got a megaphone and he's like beaming down to the manifestors, get everybody to move to the left. Okay, not that God's gonna say that, but that's the best example I've got. And then the manifestors are going to receive the urge to communicate that with everybody. So these are like the divine translators. You know, manifestors are like divine translators, and they are receiving guidance to be translated to us, so the generators ultimately, and the manifesting generators, can act upon it. So manifestors' auras are huge, massive. I've got a manifestor child. He cannot sneak into a room, even if he thinks he's sneaking in. He loves to do this thing where he scares us, and he'll like stand at the bottom of the stairs, and I'll open the door to go up, and he like jumps out at me, but I always can sense he's there. You know, it's like, so he doesn't really do a good job at the game, but the energy is huge. And when manifestors come into a room, energetically, it feels like they are elbowing you out of the way. That's how big the aura is. Now, think about traditional schooling and how we're kind of indoctrinated into this way of being. Doesn't suit manifestors. So what can happen is their big aura, and they also have urges to communicate. Like my son as well just makes random noises, and I'll be like, what's the noise for? And he's like, I don't know, I just felt like I had to say it. Or he'll just randomly blurt something out. So it's a non-creative urge that comes through a manifestor, and in the process of them opening their mouth, they translate that non-creative urge into language. And that's ultimately what manifestors are here to do. They are revolutionaries. They are the ones that stand at the top of the mountain and they say, right, generators, we're going to start a revolution. I want you all to go and march in the streets. And the generators respond to that, and they go off and march in the streets. Now, manifestor energy is so big, and it's also Marmite energy. So manifestors are not here to divinely translate to everybody. They're here to divinely translate to specific people that are an energetic match to them. It's generally their fractal tribe, it's called. It's people that were born on the same fractal line, and we've all got our fractals. We're all here to be of service to a group of people. It's called our fractal tribe. But because the manifestor energy is so big that when you are not their fractal tribe, it's an unpleasant energy. So they can suffer from the Marmite syndrome of they're either going to be really loved and adored, or they're going to be hated. And I've experienced this with my son so many times. Like, he can be in a group of children and 50% of them will just hate the fact that he breathes. You know, hate the fact that he exists. And like, you'll see them roll in their eyes when he kind of shows up to play with them. And then he has like the other side of that is the opposite spectrum of his little fan club who, you know, come and shout up at his bedroom window asking if he's going to play football. So If you think about from a child and the potential conditioning of that, of walking into a room and energetically nudging people out of the way and then being hated, that's going to create some interesting beliefs. And what I find with adult manifestors is they've shrunk, they've tried to hide, they've tried to shrink themselves in a little box so they're not seen, and therefore they've cut off their translation process. So a lot of manifestors that I have done one-to-one readings for, the very thought of me saying to them, go and stand at the top of a hill with a megaphone and guide people, brings terror. It's like, no, I'm going to get rejected. So little bit of homework that you can do as a manifestor is, this is your soul role. This is what you're here to do. And there is going to be an element of rejection, but there's also going to be an element of adoration. All you've got to do is speak. All you've got to do is show up and then own that aura unapologetically. Know and stand with pride and hold your head up that when you do walk in a room, you are unavoidable. People are going to feel you, people are going to see you, and you are going to impact people in that room. You're not going to impact all of them, but that's not why you're here. So in terms of manifestors, they don't have the sacral, same as projectors. So manifestors are here to be. They're not here to do. Generators are like the worker bees. Manifesting generators, exactly the same. Here to move the energy into form, move the ideas, respond, go out there, march in the streets, build the houses, build the revolutions. They are the doers, and when they are doing it in alignment and also doing it in a way that lights them up. And there's a little saying that I love to say about generators and manifesting generators. Do what you love and love what you do. Do what you love and love what you do. And if you follow that mantra, you will never, ever run out of energy to create the thing that you are here to create. Manifestors don't have that powerful sacral. Okay, the sacral is not defined in a manifestor. So they have to be very careful with the use of their energy. And they are really here to just stand at the top of the mountain with the megaphone. And once they've translated the creative urge that's coming through them, their work is done. They go back to bed. Okay. So there could be additional conditioning. Not only have you kind of tried to shrink your aura and hide your voice, you could also be trying to keep up with the generators and exhausting yourself and really burning yourself out. So contemplation for manifestors is, where am I trying to keep up with everybody else? And where am I hiding? And where am I not speaking my truth? Hi, Lisa King. How are you? Same here, my manifestor is so felt. Yeah, it's quite interesting to witness. Like once you, and it's good to learn about all the energy types, not just your own, because you'll start to see how people are reacting and how they're behaving, and you're looking at their energy rather than taking their behavior personally, and it's just a whole different relationship with people around you. Like I can spot a projector at 10 paces. I can spot a generator at 10 paces. I can spot the manifestors, the reflectors, and I find it fascinating and almost humorous and kind of reassuring to know that this is true and playing out in the world. And you can sense when someone's out of alignment or in their not self versus when they're in alignment. And it's such a powerful experience. It's interesting to learn about all the energy types. So the next is projectors. Now, I'm a projector. I thought my dad was a manifestor, and we found his birth information, and he's a manifesting generator. So is my mum. My mum is a manifesting generator, and I'm a projector. So is it any wonder that I lived my whole existence as a manifesting generator? Like my parents used to decorate a house in hours. I can't explain it. They just had this incredible ability to focus on a job and get it done like really quickly. I remember my dad once landscape gardened the entire backyard, our back garden, and it was a huge space, in like 3 or 4 hours. Laid grass, put paving stones in, and I thought that this existence was the way that you're supposed to be. So here I am as a projector, and my sister's a projector also. She's a mental projector. I'm an emotional projector. So here we are witnessing these ultimate mani-gens in their power, getting things done, decorating entire houses in hours. And, you know, whenever my mum and dad decided, like, they would decide we were going to go to Spain, and we would be booked, packed at the airport, checked in what felt like days, like a day later. You know, everything was just actioned and created really rapidly. So I'm a projector, and it's really important to understand other energies from that perspective as well, because you can understand how you can be influenced. Now, my mum and dad are both Mani Gen, so they have the defined sacral. Mine isn't, because I'm a projector, and you'll be the same if you're a projector as well. So they used to give me a false sense of, you know, power. And as soon as I left their aura, I used to be like, what is this world? And I used to feel terrified, and I can really vividly remember it as a child. And I used to have massive attachment issues with my parents. I just didn't want to be away from them, because my experience of life being piggybacking off that sacral energy from both of them was very different to my experience out in the world on my own, going to school as my true essence as a projector. So it's really fascinating how the energy types influence, and there will be an aspect of your parental or you know, significant parent figure on how it's impacted you as well energetically. So projectors are here as, projectors are the newest energy type, okay? And I also did a training in the group. I'll pop it in after this one, because it's really important right now. And I'm working on a project with Lisa King, because we are on a mission to empower projectors, because we came for a reason. Quick background about the history of human design. The world goes through its energetic cycles, okay? And in human design, there are specific energetic cycles. And we're just leaving a period, well, we're on the process of leaving. We're coming to the end of a transit in 2027 into a new way of being. So right now we're in the material, we're in the mastery of material. So obviously in the last 2, 3, 4 decades, there's been a lot of advancements in how we live, how houses are built, you know, educational bodies, hospitals. Like, there's been a lot of developments and advancements in the material world. There's been a lot of businesses created, not all in energetic alignment, but that's, you know, the decades that we've just gone through have been a period where we've been in this mastery of the material realm. Now, as we were going through the mastery of the material realm, obviously the universe could see that it wasn't kind of going well. So it dropped in the projectors, because as we move into 2027, which is the beginning of the mastery of energy, that's why you're hearing human design spoken about so much, and energetics and alignment, is because somebody needs to guide people through this transition. There was an energy type missing that needed to actually guide people as we move from this period of material wealth to energetic mastery. It's like living day and night. It's like the complete polar opposites in the terms of where we are headed. It's very exciting. So projectors were dropped in as the people that are going to pick up the baton. Now, manifestors have been the leaders of the material mastery era. Projectors are the leaders, are the new paradigm leaders moving into this energetic mastery. So we're not here to lead in the way that manifestors are leading. We're not here to initiate. We're not here to divinely translate specific messages. We're here to look at what already exists and bring it into alignment. And how we work as projectors is our aura type is very piercing and penetrative. So when I'm in anybody's presence one-to-one, my aura penetrates into their G center. And I've always been told I can read people like a book. And when I understood that I was a projector, it made perfect sense. It's like you have this powerful ability to scan somebody and you know where they're at, what their worries are, what their problems are, what they're struggling with, what their shadow is. Like, you can't hide anything from a projector. You don't even have to communicate how you're feeling. Just let us be in your energy. We'll read you and we'll mirror that back to you and guide you into a new experience of yourself. So projectors is such, you can imagine if someone's able to read you like a book, it can be quite uncomfortable. especially if you've got a lot of shadow or you're living a false identity and you don't want people to know your truth. So when a projector comes in your energy, and I've seen this so many times, specifically with women and empowerment groups, use the brackets. So I've always shown up with a pure intention. And because people feel read by me, even when I don't say I'm reading you, you know, I'm always scanning people. It can result in, like, I've been excommunicated from an empowerment group before, because it was like the energetic dynamics was they knew I could see through them and they didn't want to be seen through. So I was like a threat to them, but they didn't really understand what was happening. They were just feeling uncomfortable in my presence. So therefore there's something wrong with me. So therefore I need to be removed. And projectors will experience this time and time and time again. The strategy for a projector is wait for the invitation. And it's because of that. Like, literally, when you are in the presence of somebody and you are really focusing on them, because you can be in a group, projectors can be in a group and not be focused on one particular person. It's a different experience. But when you're one-to-one with somebody, it's like they're naked. And who wants to be naked without being asked if it's okay with them first? So projectors are here as the new leaders. We are here to look at all different areas of life. And this is what me and Lisa King are creating. We want projectors to rise in their power. They are the most conditioned energy type. They've lived out as generators and burnt out and have a disconnection and are now lost on what they see. And they feel like, you know, can I even do this? I don't even feel like I can tune into people, because they've lived as generators for so long and lived in that conditioning. So projectors don't have the sacral, same as manifestors. We're not here to be in the trenches. We're here to be round the circle, round the what's the word? The edge, round the edge of life, witness and observe. And from time to time, people are going to turn around and say, am I doing this right? And you're going to step in, tune in, and re-guide the energy. And then go and stand on the edge again. Maybe sit on a cushion on the edge, just like eating grapes. Like, that's the vibe of the projector. So conditioning for projectors is connected to burnout, hustle, trying to keep up with the generators. Don't even try, you can't, you will die. And then not waiting for the invitation. So when a projector gives advice, like I spent decades going around coaching people. Oh my God. No one wanted to hear what I had to say. And I was like, but this, I know this is going to help you. And it's when you give your guidance unsolicited, it's not received. So there's going to be an essence of what's the word? Conditioning around people not listening to you, or people not receiving your guidance, or people reacting to you because what you can see. Like, I used to see, if my mum and dad had any friends that were out of integrity, I didn't like them. I couldn't even say hello to them when I was younger. It was hilarious. And I remember my mum always going, say hello, you know, or give auntie such and such a cuddle. And I was like, no, that woman's out of integrity. And so, but in time, if you're like forced to still engage with that, or people don't want to hear why there's like that, oof, that person, I don't want to give a hug because there's something weird about them, then you will think that, you know, what you're receiving is not correct, and you will begin to second guess yourself, or you will feel very unheard and unseen. So there's conditioning around that. So how is the story of no one sees me playing out in your life right now as a projector? And how is the story of no one wants to listen to my incredible guidance playing out as well? And then also the story of why can't I keep up with everyone else? Yeah, it's so funny, honestly. Yeah, Miriam, like I even do it now, and it's instant. It's instant as a projector. Like, I instantly read people and I'm like, has anyone seen Willy Wonka? You know, when the egg goes on that thing and it's either a good egg or a bad egg, and all the bad eggs go down the chute? That's the feeling. It's like bad egg, good egg, bad egg, good egg. And it's not making people wrong or right. It's about energetic integrity and what you are receiving from them. So it's really fascinating. So, hi, Margarita, sorry. Right, amazing. So finally, reflectors. Now, reflectors, such a fascinating energy. When I first started looking at human design, I literally could not even work with reflectors. I didn't create trainings for reflectors. I didn't actively call in reflectors. It was very interesting to witness, and I got to the root of it. Basically, that was my shadow playing out, because it was like, I don't want reflectors to be able to see everything, because I want to be able to see everything, and I want to feel like I know what I'm talking about. So my own shadow I was able to catch doing this exploration of human design. So reflectors are the cosmic mirror. Okay, so reflectors, again, reflectors, manifestors and projectors are the sitting on the cushion eating grapes energy. The generators and the manifestors are in the trenches doing, being, creating, moving. So there's going to be an element of reflector conditioning of trying to keep up with the generators. But if reflectors have no centers defined in their body graph chart, none whatsoever. So they literally are receiving energy from everyone around them 100% of the time. So if you're a reflector, it's really important that you take yourself off to the woods, or you find a little cabin in the woods, or you go to your home or whatever, and you decompress and reconnect to your true essence. Now, human design for reflectors is so powerful, because when you are absorbing the energy of other people all of the time, you can get into a bit of a confused identity. Like, who am I? What do I like? What do I not like? You know, why am I here? And you're basically, when you have no centers defined, you're a sponge to the world, to people, to the collective, to energy around you. So reflectors are a giant sponge, and their role in the world is to receive what's going on and to reflect back so everyone else can see if they're on track or not. It's like they are the ultimate, not health and safety officers, but you know, when you have a company and there's like a department that comes and checks the efficiency of everybody and kind of gives feedback, and it's like, well, I spent a week in this department and this is what I saw, and then I spent a week in this department and this is what I saw. They're not really solving the problems, they're just telling you what they found, you know, on that journey in these different departments. That's ultimately what the reflector's here to do. It's not here to guide like the projector. It's just here to feedback what they are receiving from the world. So you can imagine how powerful and how important that is, and how more and more reflectors like projectors need to stand in their power right now, because it's going to help the projectors reorganize the energy way quicker, because it's like they've got this ally. Okay, so what are you receiving? What are you seeing? Okay, and this is what I'm seeing, and you know, they can work together in this powerful tag team environment. So reflectors need to, and if you've got your human design as a reflector, read it, know who you are, know what your powers are, know what your strengths are, know what your journey is, and repeat that to yourself every single day before you get out of bed and before you go to sleep. Because when you step out into the world, you're going to forget all about that. Because if you're next to a manifestor, you're going to feel like a manifestor. And if that manifestor's angry, you're going to feel angry. And if you're next to a projector, you're going to feel like a projector. And if that projector's bitter, you're going to feel bitter. If you're next to a generator and that generator's frustrated, this is how you're going to feel. So the world and people in the world impact your emotions as a reflector, impact your identity, impact your beliefs, impact your experience, and impact what you pull towards yourself. So it's really important to have this daily decompression of aloneness, where you detox the energies in your open centers and you reconnect to who you truly are. Even have like a third time where you recite who you are in the middle of the day. You know, so reflectors in terms of conditioning don't know who they are. They don't know why they're here. They have a different voice for every different day of the week. They have a different ability every single day of the week. They might hang out with a projector one week and be able to really read people on the projector level. And then the next week they're hanging out with generators and they're like, I don't have that superpower anymore. Like, what's going on? So it's like that Alice in Wonderland falling down that, you know, that hole, grabbing onto the vines. That's the conditioning of the reflector. And then also the conditioning of the reflector is living an existence that belongs to someone else. So if you're in a relationship with someone and, you know, there's just you and them and you're in their energy all the time, you're going to start liking your eggs cooked the same way as them. You're going to start liking, you know, their hobbies and interests, and you're really going to lose yourself in other people. So reflectors, a little bit of kind of homework for you to do is to incorporate this daily deconditioning. Go and walk to the park, go and walk to woodlands, hug a tree, sit on the ground, feet barefoot on the ground, and just be like, I release all of the energies that don't belong to me, and I call myself back in, and I connect back to myself, and I ground back into myself. It's really important that projectors do that. So they are the 5 energy types. Now, how understanding your energy type leads to effortless success in your business and life is this. When you are an aligned version of who you came here to be, and Miriam, we've spoken about this. I watched this incredible talk a while back about the power of emotions that leave the body. Okay, now emotions, when they leave the body, are like little magnets pulling towards you things. So if you're, feeling very angry or frustrated or bitter or disappointed, those little magnets go out and they bring back little surprises for you. That is an energetic match. The most powerful emotion that leaves the body is authenticity. So when you are in alignment with your human design, your true, authentic expression of who you came here to be, the power of magnetism that leaves with that energy ensures that you stay on the path of least resistance. It ensures that the people that are part of your journey come into your life. It ensures that if you are here to fulfill your soul work as a full-time, experience, then the people that are here to receive your soul work will find you. So this is how it gets to be effortless. So when you show up in your correct energy type, so for me, it's an aura, it's a projector in my aura. And then you bring in the authority and the strategy, which we're going to talk about tomorrow and the next day. You are showing up and in an authentic way, and the emotion of authenticity is going to leave your body. And that's how you start to see a shift in your existence. That's how things become effortless in life and things become effortless in business. That's how I was able to, shift very, very swiftly into my soul work, into guiding people, into having one-to-one clients, into having this consistent income from showing up to do my soul work, because I was an authentic expression of my aura type. So that's how it gets to be effortless. And it really does. Like, everything is in the human design blueprint. It's all there. And if you are here for today, tomorrow, and the next day, you get my decoded PDF, and you get to decode all of the aspects of your human design chart. So you can choose consciously every single day to release the emotion of authenticity from your body, and know that these are just little magnets that go out into the atmosphere and pull back towards you everything that's going to serve you, everything that's going to delight you, everything that's going to make you feel good, and everything that's going to be part of your journey. Because we're not here to suffer. We're here, we agreed a soul contract. The soul contract is our human design essence. It is the human being that our soul desires to be. It's like the operating manual of the human. So your soul's inside of you right now, driving you, the human, which is the car. And it's using you, and it wants to sit in the most comfortable car. It wants the car to be exactly the way that it sees the car, because that's how the car's going to take the best journey. It wants to have the best tires on. It wants to have the most comfortable seats. It wants to have the most, shiny bonnet. It wants to have, a heating system. So all of these different aspects are aspects of your human design chart that your soul desires you to be. And all you've got to do is have awareness of it and conscious choice every single day. So every single day I choose to be the projector. I choose to honor my soul role. I choose to honor the fact I'm here to re-guide energy. And I choose to release the conditioning around that. And I choose all the other aspects of my human design as well. And slowly but surely, you start to turn the ship. Has anyone been on a ship and turned the wheel? And it feels like you're turning it and turning it and turning it, and the boat just doesn't feel like it's moving. Then all of a sudden it does a swift turn. That's really the integration of the energies of human design. You do a lot of embodiment before you start to see the ship turn, but it turns very quickly. So the more that you can honor your authentic, true essence, and the more that you can bring your brain on board through embodiment, the quicker that ship's going to turn. And then those little magnets that are radiating from your aura are going to bring you things that are, going to make you feel good and excited and happy. So has anybody got any questions about their aura type before we finish? And I'll be back tomorrow, slightly earlier at 8:30, because I've got some, I coach in 2 groups actually. I've got 2 sessions tomorrow and a one-to-one client. We're going to talk about inner authority. Now, your inner authority is your inner sat navigation system, and everybody has a different inner authority. And you can also call it the way that your soul chooses to communicate its guidance with you. So it's really interesting. And when you tune into that essence, so first of all, when you're showing up as your aura type, and then you're connected to your inner authority and you're receiving and acting upon your soul's guidance, then you're going to be fulfilled living in the highest frequency. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'll wait another second, see if anybody's so fascinating about the reflector thing. True, Miriam, it was. And Miriam knows my story with reflectors because we've had a chat about it. Projector daughter told me how knowing this has really made an impact. Yeah, being seen. It's really interesting because I've got a projector son, a generator daughter, a manifesting generator daughter, and a manifestor son. And my manifestor son is homeschooled. Manifestors do everything on their own terms. You can't tell a manifestor to do anything. My manifesting generator is so interesting because manifesting generators have like this butterfly syndrome where they just want to like play with everything. So she's like wants everything, but it's not in a Veruca Salt way. It's like everything excites her. Like, look at all these things. Isn't the world incredible? And that's like, I describe it as like, you know, when butterflies flap on your cheeks, and it's like, wow, that is such a beautiful, like a butterfly just flapped on my cheek. That's the energy of the manifesting generators. Both your children are emotional projectors like you. That's good, Danielle, because they're going to have less conditioning having a projector mum. I've lived as a projector, but I'm a generator. Amazing. Jan, have you got an open root center by any chance? Because that might be the reason why you've been living as a projector. So if you haven't got your chart, I'll pop the link. I think I put it. I don't know if that's the right link. Click on, it's yoursoulknow.com, and then, yes, I've put it in there. Click on free chart, get your chart. Hi, Irene, how are you? Oh my gosh, yesterday, poor Irene yesterday was asking for something, and I kept sending her the wrong PDF without checking it. So apologies again, Irene. I'm pleased we got to the bottom of it. Yes, Jan, go and check it out. Amazing, Danielle. Okay, I am off and I will see you all tomorrow. She's shining so much in her excitement. Amazing. So welcome. Yeah. It's fascinating. There's like 49 people in a group right now, all different aura types. And I could almost predict how everyone was going to respond to the teachings. Like all the manifesting generators are messaging me saying, I just want to know how to do it. I don't want to go through 4 weeks of, you know, embodiment. All the divine ajnas are like wanting to know exactly where I'm getting this information from. It's really interesting to see all of these different, the ways that these energies operate. You are so welcome, Jan. Amazing. Welcome, Yolandi. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.